text to read a USN name and marks. 5 buttons to perform insertion, deletion, update, view, view all. Now we look at the Java program. Let me declare in a variables for an edit text. 3 edit text that we have used. One is for to read the USN name. Second one is to read the name. Third one is to read the marks. And 5 buttons to perform insertion, deletion, updation, view, to view all the records. Let me just find the IDs and then assign to an variables. USN find view by ID r dot id dot I have used the same IDs. Let me cross check the IDs. For an USN I have used a roll number. Roll number, name, find view by ID r dot id dot name, marks, find view by ID r dot id dot marks, insertion, insert equals find view by ID r dot id dot insert, delete, find view by ID r dot id dot delete, updation, we can make it as an update. Update, find view by ID r dot id dot update, view, find view by ID r dot id dot view, view all, find view by ID r dot id dot view all. Now I want to implement a on click method. So since there are 5 buttons, so let me implement in a main activity itself, main activity class. Implements view dot on click listener, and here I'm going to implement the on click method. Public, it does not return anything. Void on click, where it reads a view B. Yes, the error has gone. Now let me call the set on click listener. Insert dot set on click listener. This. So we have set the button in the same class. Similarly for a delete dot set on click listener. This. Update dot set on click listener. This. Update delete view. View dot set on click listener. This. View all dot set on click listener. This. Now let me implement a on click listener. And before implementing a on click listener, let me just create a database and table. For creating a database, we have to declare a variable of the type SQLite Database. SQLite Database is in a local database. Let me take in a class called a SQLite Database, and let me declare a variable. db equals to create a database, we are going to use an open or create database method. Open or create database. Let me add a name of the database. I'm reading in a student details, so let me add a name called a student db, comma, what type of a context it is. I have to mention context dot, I'll take it as a private mode, and I'm not defining any handler, so let me include a null. After creating a database, we have to create a table. db dot execute the SQL query, and inside this method we are supposed to write a create table query. Create table if not exist, let me create a table called a student. USN, which is in a varchar type. We will be reading in 3 attributes: USN, name, marks. Name varchar, marks. Marks we can add it as an integer. Let me just end the query with a semicolon. Don't forget to end in a query with a semicolon. After creating a database and creating a table, Let's just, on clicking on an insert button, it should perform an inserting in a record to an student data table. If view equals v, whatever the view we have taken is in a view is means the button that we clicked. View equals insert. If at all I have clicked on an insert button, what it should do. First I'll check all the fields, that is an edit text, is empty or not. Okay, let me check for an empty fields. If usn dot get text dot toString dot stream dot length equal to 0. I'm checking whether the usn is having an empty field or not. Edit text usn is having an empty field or not. If not empty, we have to insert a table. We have to insert a record. Similarly, let me check for a name and marks. First, let me check for a name and let me check for a marks. If any of the field is empty, we have to show a message. Show message is a user-defined method. Let me just define the user-defined method called a show method. We are supposed to define it after the onClick method. Public, it does not return anything. Void show message. Show message is a user-defined method where you are going to read in a first parameter title, and second parameter is a message to be displayed. First parameter is a title and second parameter is a message to be displayed. Let me take in a builder class which is defined inside an alert dialog. Let me define a variable of the type builder. And let me just set the title and the message to be displayed. Builder dot set cancelable to true. Builder dot set the title to whatever the title that is being passed from the function call of a show message. Title builder dot set message. Let me display the message that is being passed from the function call. Builder dot show. So whatever we have written need to be shown. So that's why you're supposed to call it a builder.show. Let me just pass the title and then the message to be displayed if any of the fields are empty. Title is actually an error. And what is the message to be displayed is please enter all the values. I'll display please enter all the values. And then written. After checking, none of the fields are empty. Now we're going to execute an insert query. db.exec_sql in order to execute the query. Insert values into name of the database. We've already mentioned, directly you can write enter values. Enter into values. Which is the table name. So please remember, while entering a value, first we are supposed to take within the single quotes. Please enter the values within the single quotes, and let me add a double quotes. Inside this double quotes, we are supposed to mention the from where we have to read it. You have to read it from an edit text. You are supposed to write a plus usn dot getText dot toString. At last also we are supposed to mention a plus, comma, again we have to add read a name, single quotes, double quotes, inside a double quotes plus name dot getText dot toString. Comma, or let me read a marks, single quotes, double quotes plus marks dot getText dot toString. At the end plus. So this completes our insert query, and don't forget to add a semicolon at the end. And let me show a message successfully inserted. So what is the title of the message is success, and the message to be displayed is record added. Record added. And also once you add all the records, so what you have to do is you have to clear the edit text in order to perform a next operation. So let me call a method called a clear text, which is a user defined method. Clear text, which is a user defined method. Let me define this method. Public, it does not return anything. Void clear text. Whatever there in the text, we have to clear it in edit text. Dot set the text to null. Similarly, name dot set the text to null. Marks dot set the text to null. And once you clear everything, again the cursor should move to an USN. USN dot request focus, where the cursor should focus on USN. This completes what you are supposed to do on performing an insertion. If the clicked button is an insert, we have performed an insertion. Now we'll check for an if clicked button is a delete. What to do if clicked button is a delete? If v equals delete, what we have to do? So first we have to check whether the USN edit text is empty or not. If in order to perform a deletion, we will only enter an USN. So that let me check whether the USN field is empty or not. USN get text dot toString equals 0 dot trim dot length. If it is a 0, let me display a message. We have an error. The same thing you can display. Please enter the USN. Please enter USN. Fine. Now, if it is not empty, now we have read an USN. Now the cursor need to move to a row containing a respective USN. For that, we have to take a class called a cursor. Let me declare a variable of the type cursor equals where it has to be pointed, we have to write in a query. Which is in a raw query because it is just performs a selection. Select star from student table where USN equals enter the value. So for that, first we should take in a single quotes. Inside the single quotes, double quotes. Inside that you have to write the value plus USN dot getX dot toString plus comma null. It should not pass. Okay. Now the cursor is pointing to a respective USN. Once the cursor is pointing to a respective USN, now let's move the cursor to whichever the records that is first shown. If cursor dot move to first. Now let me execute a delete query. db dot execute an SQL query, which is a delete query. Delete from student database where USN equals single quotes, double quotes plus USN dot getX dot toString. toString comma, that's it. No comma. toString and later we have to add a plus. After executing a delete query successfully, let me display a show message with the title success and a message record deleted. If the record not found or an invalid USN is entered, we have to write a message. Let me display a show message with the title error. What is the error messages? Invalid USN. And later let me clear the text in a USN edit text. This completes our deletion operation. Once you complete your deletion operation, let's perform update operation. If view selected, the button clicked as a update, what to do? First, let me check whether the USN field is empty or not. And if it is empty, you can just ask them to enter the roll number. Copy, paste. If the USN is not, here we have to write in a written. Forgot to write a written. If the USN is not empty, first we have to place the cursor to a specific USN in order to perform an updation. Cursor equals, let me execute in a query, the same query where we have an USN. If, let me check, if the cursor moves to the first, let me move to a first point where it is pointing out the particular query. Now let me execute an update query. db dot execute SQL update student query, student table, set name to whatever it has been mentioned and the marks to whatever it has been mentioned in the edit text. Set name equals single quotes double quotes plus name dot getText dot toString plus comma marks equals single quotes double quotes plus marks dot getText dot toString plus. This completes my update query. Once the updation is successful, let me show a message. Show message with the title success with the message record modified or updated. Record updated. If the USN is not found, Let me write an else part. Same that we wrote it in a previous one. Show a message invalid USN, and then clear the text. This completes my updation. Once the updation completed, let me write a code for view button. View, if a click button is a view, what to do? First we have to check the same thing. If a USN is empty or not. Here we are viewing in a record of a specific USN. So first let me check. USN is empty or not. If the USN is not empty, we have to select a query which is pointing to a specific USN. And the same thing. So we'll be displaying the text, right? If cursor equals if cursor dot move to first, set the name dot set text. So you have to display whatever there in the cursor. Cursor dot get the string. Get the string at a first index. 0th index is an USN. First index is a name. And similarly, marks dot set text cursor dot get the string which is there in an index 2, which is a marks. If you did not get a valid USN, then let me just show a message and then clear the text. Let me show an invalid USN, message called an invalid USN, and then clear the text. This completes by our view button. Now let me implement on clicking view all button. If view equals view all, if view equals view all, will be showing all the records present inside a student database. So for that, let me go to a cursor equals what is the query you are going to write as a select star from student database, student table. Select star from student table, comma, null. if whatever the cursor is pointing dot get the count that the cursor is pointing. If the count is not equal to 0, we have to keep on executing. We have to display all the messages, right? That's why. If the count is equal to 0, then display a message that no records found. Show message. Title is an error. No records found. No records found. Written. And now let me display an if the records found, we have to display all the records. So for that, let me take a builder class, string builder class, sorry, string buffer class, string buffer, new string buffer. Let me create a variable of the type string buffer, and then using a cursor, let me use a while loop because we have to print all the records. Cursor dot move to the next. It is not a move to the first, move to the next, one after the other. Move to the next and then display each of the data. Buffer dot append. What we have to append? We have to display a roll number or USN. Just let me write an USN. So what is the value to be displayed? Plus where the cursor is pointing, cursor dot get string which is present inside a 0th index. Let me go to the next line, /n. After displaying in a USN, similarly let me display the name and marks. Dot append name plus cursor dot get string which is there in the first index /n. And similarly let me display marks. Which is present in a second index. And display a show message. Student details. Message to be displayed whatever there in the buffer. Buffer dot toString. So this completes our program. Let me run and check it out. It's loading the emulator. Yes. Success record added. Now let me view all. Click on view all. So this is the record we added. Let me add in a few more records. 4VV 20 IS 002. Shuni 28. Insert. Success record added. Let me view all. Click on view all. Look at 2 records are displaying. Similarly, if at all, let me add in one more record. 4VV 20 IS 003. Name Akash 25. Insert. Success record added. And I click on view all. It displays all the values. Now we'll check for an update. If at all you want to view a specific student details, we have to give the USN 4VV 20 IS 003. Click on view. Let me check view. Select star from USN lot to string where. We'll check for a deletion. 4VV 20 IS 003. Click on delete. Record deleted. When I click on view all, yes, 003 record got deleted. And in order to update it, we have to mention the 4VB 20 IS 001. I would like to rename the name. I'll rename Abhi to Abhishek and marks from 30 to 26. Click on update. Record updated. When I click on view all, yes, Abhi got updated to Abhishek. We'll just check out the why the view is not working. Let me enter USN 4VV 20 IS 001. I would like to check the specific USN details. View It got deleted. Let me just check it out. View code. Let's check whether the USN is not empty or not. When we are selecting a specific USN, move to a cursor 1 and 2. Yes, here I'm supposed to put it inside this, not outside, because once you enter it will show. Once the cursor is been moved, again it is clearing the USN. Let me run. It's installing. Just wait for a few seconds. Yes, it got installed. Let me enter USN 4 VV 20 IS 001. Let me view the record zeros. Yes, the name and the marks got appeared. We checked all the operations: insert, delete, update, view, and view all.